Did Elvis Presley record his definitive album just 3 years after leaving the army? Could a movie soundtrack, dismissed by critics, actually be his most important work? What if the key to understanding his genius isn't in a sweaty jumpsuit in Vegas, but in a simple Hawaiian shirt in a Hollywood studio? And is it possible that a song based on an 18th century French melody became his most enduring legacy? Number 24, did one song redefine the wedding march forever? The song was almost cut from the film. The producers thought it was too slow, too downbeat. Elvis Presley insisted it stay. He fought for it. The melody itself wasn't even new. It was adapted from a French love song called Plaisir d'amour, written in 1784 by Jean-Paul Egide Martini. For the recording session on March 23rd, 1961, at Radio Recorders in Hollywood, it took 29 takes to get it right. They almost gave up. The final master was the very last attempt, take 29. That song was Can't Help Falling in Love, and it's the cornerstone of the argument for Blue Hawaii. It's the album's ace. The song transcends the movie it was written for. It transcends Elvis himself. It has become a standard, a piece of the cultural furniture. When you have a song of this magnitude on an album, it elevates everything around it. This isn't just a good movie song. It is one of the most perfect love ballads ever recorded. The performance is a masterclass in restraint. Elvis had the power to blow the roof off any studio. He could scream, shout, and rattle the walls. But here, he does the opposite. His vocal is a gentle whisper. It's intimate. He sounds like he is singing directly to one person in a quiet room. The arrangement supports this intimacy. It starts with a simple, almost hesitant arpeggio. Then the steel guitar, played by Alvino Rey, adds a layer of sweet melancholy. The Jordanaires provide a soft cushion of harmony, never overpowering him. They are a quiet hum in the background, like a church choir heard from a distance. The song's structure is also deceptive. It's simple, almost like a lullaby. The lyrics, penned by Hugo Peretti, Luigi Creatore, and George David Weiss, are direct. There are no complicated metaphors. Wise men say, only fools rush in. It's plain language. But the combination of the ancient melody, the simple words, and Elvis's sincere delivery creates something profound. The producer's initial fear was that the song was a downer. They were wrong. It isn't sad, it's deeply romantic and accepting. It's about the inevitability of love, the surrender to it. That's why it became the unofficial wedding song for generations. It captures a moment of sincere, quiet commitment better than almost any other piece of popular music. Its inclusion on Blue Hawaii immediately changes the album's DNA. This isn't just a collection of fun, tropical-themed tunes anymore. It's an album that contains a timeless classic, a song that will be played at weddings and anniversaries long after the movie is forgotten. It gives the album a weight, a seriousness that many of his other soundtrack albums lack. To have a song this powerful, this enduring, sitting right there on the track list is perhaps the single biggest reason to reconsider the entire project. It's not just a highlight, it's a monument. Number 23, was it the last time we heard his voice? So pure. It's Elvis's vocal on the From Elvis in Memphis album is often cited as his peak. It's raw, soulful, and drenched in experience. But the voice on Blue Hawaii is something different and arguably something we never heard again. It's the sound of a voice at its absolute physical prime before the grind of Hollywood and the punishing schedule of Vegas took their toll. The recording sessions for Blue Hawaii took place over 3 days in March 1961. Elvis was 26 years old. He was fresh, rested, and post-army discipline had honed his focus. His voice had shed the raw, frantic energy of the 1950s. It had deepened. The baritone register was richer, more resonant, yet it hadn't yet acquired the heavy, sometimes overwrought vibrato of his later years. It was a perfect balance. You can hear this purity across the entire album on a simple ballad like Hu Ui Po, which means My Sweetheart, his control is astonishing. He moves from a soft, near whisper to a full, open-throated note with effortless grace. There is no strain. There is no forced emotion, it just flows. The Hawaiian lyrics could have been a challenge, but he handles them with a smooth, natural feel. He wasn't just singing words, he was using the sound of the language as another instrument. Then listen to a more upbeat number like Rockahula Baby. His voice has a playful energy, a swagger, but it's clean. Every word is clear. Every rhythmic hiccup is precise. Compare this to some of his later live performances, where the sheer volume and energy sometimes obscured the nuance. Here, in the controlled environment of radio recorders, every detail of his vocal instrument is captured perfectly. This was a voice that could do anything. It could handle the operatic scope of Can't Help Falling in Love, the gentle swing of Moonlight Swim, and the goofy rock of Slice and Sand. This versatility is a key reason for the album's strength. He wasn't just a rock and roll singer anymore. He was a complete vocalist. He was using different colors, different textures to suit each song. This period from roughly 1960 to 1962 was a golden era for his voice. The Elvis is Back album showed its power, but Blue Hawaii showcased its beauty and its range in a more relaxed, commercial setting. It was the sound of a young king completely comfortable on his throne. The pressures of being Elvis Presley had not yet begun to show in his voice. There's a lightness and ease that is palpable. It's the sound of pure talent, unburdened. This specific vocal quality, this unique snapshot in time, makes the Blue Hawaii soundtrack an essential document for anyone who wants to understand the full capacity of his gift. It was a fleeting moment, and this album captured it perfectly. Number 22, did the stereo mix create a new kind of listening experience? In 1961, mono was still king. Most people listened to music on single-speaker record players or car radios. Stereo was a relatively new, high-fidelity format for audiophiles. The engineering team behind Blue Hawaii at Radio Recorders, led by engineer Thorne Nogar, took the stereo mix seriously. They didn't just pan a few instruments left and right. They created a soundscape. The original stereo vinyl pressing of Blue Hawaii is a revelation. It's one of the best-sounding pop records of its era. This isn't an accident. It's a deliberate artistic choice that makes the album a unique listening experience. Listen to the title track, Blue Hawaii, on a good stereo system. Elvis's voice is placed firmly in the center. It's clear and present. The Jordanaires are split, with two voices on the left and two on the right, creating a halo of sound around him. The steel guitar glides from one speaker to the other. The ukulele and acoustic guitar are positioned in specific spots in the stereo field. It's not a gimmick. It creates a sense of space, of dimension. It makes you feel like you are in the room with the musicians. This approach is consistent across the album. On Aloha O, the famous farewell song, the choral arrangement by the Jordanaires is vast. The stereo separation gives their voices a depth and richness that is flattened in the mono mix. You can hear the individual parts weaving together. The ukulele provides a rhythmic pulse on one side, while the gentle percussion sits on the other. It feels immersive. This attention to sonic detail was rare for a pop soundtrack album at the time. Soundtracks were often rushed, considered disposable products to promote a film. But RCA and the production team treated Blue Hawaii like a premier studio album. They used top-of-the-line equipment at Radio Recorders, a studio known for its excellent acoustics. The microphones, the mixing board, everything was state-of-the-art for 1961. The result is a recording that sounds incredibly clean and modern even today. The bass is warm and defined, not muddy. The highs are crisp without being harsh. Elvis's voice is captured with remarkable fidelity. You can hear the subtle nuances, the breaths, the slight inflections. This high-quality sound engineering makes the album incredibly easy to listen to. It's a pleasant, warm, and inviting sound. It doesn't fatigue the ear. This sonic quality is a hidden strength. It makes you want to listen to the whole album, to live in the world it creates. The stereo mix of Blue Hawaii wasn't just a technical feature. It was an essential part of the album's charm and its success. It transported the listener to an idealized Hawaii, creating a sonic vacation that was just as important as the film's visuals. Number 21. Could a German folk song be the album's secret weapon? The song is called Wooden Heart. It was a massive hit for Elvis in Europe after being released on the soundtrack for his previous film, G.I. Blues. In the U.S., it was given to another singer, Joe Dowell, who had a #1 hit with it. For the Blue Hawaii album, Elvis recorded a new song with a similar feel, a blend of rock and roll with a European folk sensibility. That song was Rock a Hula Baby, and its origins are just as surprising. The song has a frantic, almost chaotic energy. It shifts between a hard rock beat and a gentle hula rhythm. It feels like two different songs stitched together. But it works. And part of the reason it works is its connection to a deeper, older musical tradition. The rock and roll section is pure Elvis. It's got swagger and a driving beat, courtesy of DJ Fontana on drums. But the hula sections with the ukulele and the laid-back vocal are what make the song unique. This fusion of American rock with other cultural sounds was something Elvis was surprisingly good at. Rock a Hula Baby was written by Ben Wiseman, Fred Wise, and Dolores Fuller. They were tasked with creating a high-energy number for a key scene in the movie. They cleverly combined two of the film's themes, rock and roll and Hawaiian culture. The result is a song that is both exciting and a little bit strange. It shouldn't work, but it does. The performance is key. Elvis attacks the rock sections with gusto. Then, on a dime, he switches to the smooth, crooning hula rhythm. His ability to shift his vocal style so completely within a single song is remarkable. The musicians, including Scotty Moore on guitar, follow him perfectly. The track was released as a AA side single with Can't Help Falling in Love. While the ballad is the more famous song today, Rock a Hula Baby was a huge hit in its own right. It reached #5 on the Billboard Hot 100. It showed that Elvis could still deliver the kind of energetic rock and roll that made him famous, but he was now doing it with a new twist. The song is a blast of pure fun. It doesn't take itself seriously. It's designed to make you move. And in the context of the album, it provides a crucial jolt of energy. It breaks up the flow of the more gentle, Hawaiian-themed ballads. It reminds the listener that this is still an Elvis Presley album, with all the power and excitement that implies. It's the album's wildcard, a moment of joyful, multicultural chaos that proves Blue Hawaii is more than just a collection of pretty melodies. Number 20. How did a group of gospel singers become the sound of paradise? The Jordanaires were with Elvis from the beginning. Gordon Stoker, Neil Matthews, Hoyt Hawkins, and Ray Walker were a Nashville-based gospel quartet. Their tight, perfect harmonies were a key part of his 1950s sound, but on Blue Hawaii, their role expanded. They weren't just background singers anymore, they were co-creators of the album's entire atmosphere. Their contribution goes far beyond singing oohs and ahs. They were responsible for creating the lush, dreamy sound that defines the record. Listen to their work on the title track. They create a vocal bed for Elvis to lie on. Their harmonies are complex, weaving in and out of the melody. They evoke the sound of a gentle tide, the whisper of the wind through palm trees. It's not gospel, it's not pop. It's something new, a sound they invented specifically for this project. On a song like Hawaiian Wedding Song, they are almost co-lead vocalists. The song is a duet between Elvis and the quartet. They provide the traditional Hawaiian chant-like responses. Their vocal blend is so seamless that it's hard to tell where one voice ends and another begins. This was the result of years of singing together, of an almost telepathic musical connection. Gordon Stoker, the group's leader, often worked closely with Elvis on the vocal arrangements. They would work out the parts by ear in the studio, experimenting until they found the perfect blend. Elvis trusted their instincts completely. He knew that they could add a layer of class and sophistication to any song. This was especially important for the Blue Hawaii material. Some of the songs were simple, even a little silly. The Jordanaires' harmonies gave them a richness and a musicality they might have otherwise lacked. They made Moonlight Swim sound elegant. They made Slice and Sand sound polished. They were the secret ingredient that made the entire recipe work. Their vocal precision also pushed Elvis. Singing with a group this good required him to be at the top of his game. He had to be perfectly in tune, perfectly in time. You can hear this focus in his performance. He is listening intently to the singers around him, blending his voice with theirs. The sound of Blue Hawaii is often described as lush and beautiful. A huge part of that beauty comes directly from the four voices of the Jordanaires. They were more than just backup singers on this album. They were the architects of its paradise sound. Number 19 was the most successful soundtrack album of all time. The numbers are staggering. The Blue Hawaii soundtrack entered the Billboard album chart in late 1961. It hit the number one spot and stayed there for 20 consecutive weeks. That's almost 5 months at the top of the charts. No other Elvis album, before or after, ever dominated the charts for that long. In total, it spent 79 weeks on the chart. To put that in perspective, at the time, it was a record. It was the best-selling album of 1961 and the second best-selling album of 1962, beaten only by the soundtrack for West Side Story. The album was a commercial juggernaut. It was certified gold by the RIAA on December 21st, 1961. It went on to sell over 3 million copies in the United States alone. Globally, its sales were massive. It was a phenomenon. This incredible success is a powerful argument for its quality. Millions of people weren't just buying it because they saw the movie. They were buying it because they loved the music. They were playing it in their homes, at parties, in their cars. The album became a part of the fabric of everyday life in the early 1960s. The success of Blue Hawaii also had a huge impact on Elvis's career. It proved that the soundtrack album could be a massive moneymaker. This success locked him into a pattern. For the next 8 years, his career would be dominated by movies and their accompanying soundtracks. While many of these later soundtracks were of questionable quality, Blue Hawaii was the gold standard. It set a bar that was rarely, if ever, reached again. The album's commercial performance can't be dismissed as just a fluke. It tapped into a cultural moment. America was fascinated with Hawaii, which had recently become the 50th state in 1959. The album provided a perfect idealized soundtrack for this fascination. It was escapism in a record sleeve. But escapism only sells if the product is good, and the music on Blue Hawaii was very, very good. The public recognized this. They voted with their wallets again and again for 20 straight weeks. This sustained popularity is a testament to the album's listenability, its charm, and its high level of musical craftsmanship. It wasn't just a hit, it was a cultural landmark, and its sales records provide hard, undeniable evidence of its place as one of Elvis's most important and beloved albums. Number 18, did it perfectly capture a moment of American optimism. The album was released in October 1961. John F. Kennedy was in the first year of his presidency. The Camelot era was in full swing. There was a sense of youth, energy, and optimism in the country. The economy was booming. The future seemed bright. The Blue Hawaii soundtrack is the perfect sonic embodiment of that specific moment in time. The entire album is suffused with a feeling of easygoing, confident charm. There is no darkness here. There is no angst, no rebellion. The rock and roll of the 1950s was about youthful frustration. The music of the late 1960s would be about protest and social upheaval. Blue Hawaii exists in that peaceful valley in between. It is the music of a nation on vacation. The songs are about simple pleasures, falling in love, swimming in the moonlight, surfing, having a beach party. The lyrics are straightforward and uncomplicated. The melodies are sweet and memorable. The overall mood is one of pure, unadulterated happiness. This might be seen as a weakness by some critics. They might call it lightweight or superficial, but that misses the point. The album wasn't trying to be Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. It was trying to be a perfect piece of entertainment. And at that, it succeeded brilliantly. It reflected the mood of the country back at itself. People wanted to feel good. They wanted to escape their everyday worries. Blue Hawaii gave them a 35-minute trip to paradise. The sound of the album contributes to this feeling. It's clean, bright, and spacious. The use of instruments like the ukulele and the steel guitar immediately evokes a sense of relaxation and leisure. Elvis's performance is key as well. He sounds completely at ease. There's a smile in his voice. He's not the sneering rebel of jailhouse rock. He's the charming, handsome leading man. He's the perfect tour guide for this musical vacation. This album could not have been made in 1956. And it could not have been made in 1968. It is a product of its time, a perfect snapshot of the early 1960s. Its incredible success shows how perfectly it matched the national mood. Listening to it today is like opening a time capsule. It transports you back to a more innocent, more optimistic time. This ability to so perfectly capture a cultural moment is another reason for its greatness. It's more than just a collection of songs. It's a historical document set to a beautiful Hawaiian-inflected score. Number 17, was it a showcase for some of Nashville's best-kept secrets? While the album was recorded in Hollywood, the core of the band was made up of musicians who were part of Nashville's legendary team, a group of elite session players. These weren't rock and rollers. They were virtuoso musicians who could play any style of music flawlessly. Their presence on the Blue Hawaii sessions is a major reason for the album's high level of musical quality. The bassist was Bob Moore. He was one of the most prolific session musicians in history, playing on countless country and pop hits. His bass lines on Blue Hawaii are a model of taste and precision. They are melodic, yet they never get in the way of the vocal. They provide a solid, warm foundation for every song. The drummer was DJ Fontana, Elvis's original drummer, but for these sessions he was joined by Hal Blaine, another legendary session player who would go on to be part of the Wrecking Crew in Los Angeles. Their combined percussion work is subtle and effective. It's not just about keeping time, it's about adding color and texture to the arrangements. The guitar work is particularly interesting. Scotty Moore, Elvis's longtime guitarist, was there, but he was joined by another Nashville legend, Hank Garland. Garland was a jazz and country prodigy. His playing was incredibly sophisticated. You can hear his clean, fluid lines weaving through many of the tracks. He brought a level of musicality to the sessions that was far beyond what was required for a typical pop album. Then there was a steel guitar player, Alvino Ray. He was a veteran of the big band era, a true master of his instrument. His playing is what gives the album its signature Hawaiian sound. But it's not strictly traditional Hawaiian music. It's a more polished Hollywood version of that sound, which was exactly what the album needed. The piano was played by Floyd Kramer, another Nashville team member famous for his slipnote style. His playing is understated but essential, adding warmth and harmonic depth to the ballads. These musicians were professionals in the truest sense of the word. You know, they could read charts, come up with parts on the spot, and execute them perfectly, usually in just a few takes. They brought a level of discipline and craftsmanship to the project that is evident in the final product. The album sounds so smooth and effortless because it was made by musicians who were at the absolute top of their game. Elvis was the star, but this incredible band was his supporting cast. Their brilliant, often overlooked contributions are a key reason why Blue Hawaii sounds so good and has aged so well. It wasn't just a pop album, it was a showcase for some of the finest musicians of the era. Number 16, did the lesser-known songs create the album's real magic? Can't Help Falling in Love gets all the attention. Rock a Hula Baby brings the energy. But the true soul of the Blue Hawaii album lies in the other 12 tracks, the ones that are often overlooked. These songs are what create the immersive, dreamlike atmosphere of the record. They are the substance of the sonic vacation. Take a song like Moonlight Swim. It's a gentle, swinging number with a beautiful, lazy melody. The lyrics are simple, almost childlike, but Elvis sings them with a sincere, boyish charm. The arrangement is perfect, with a soft, shuffling beat, Floyd Kramer's understated piano, and the Jordanaires' whisper soft harmonies. It's a perfect piece of mood music. It's not a hit single, it's something better. It's a song that makes you feel a certain way. Or consider Ku You I Po. Sung partly in Hawaiian, it's a tender ballad that showcases the pure beauty of Elvis's voice. His pronunciation of the Hawaiian words is smooth and respectful. He treats the song not as a novelty, but as a serious piece of music. The steel guitar work by Alvino Rey is exquisite, full of longing and sweetness. This is one of the most genuinely beautiful recordings of his career. The album is full of these hidden gems. Itu Eats is a fun, slightly goofy song with a calypso rhythm. Slice and Sand is a simple, effective beach party rocker. Hawaiian Sunset is a gorgeous, almost hymn-like ballad that closes the album on a note of peaceful contemplation. Even a seemingly slight song like Island of Love has an undeniable charm thanks to the lush arrangement and Elvis's committed vocal. These are not filler tracks. They are essential components of the whole. They are what make the album a cohesive listening experience rather than just a collection of singles. They create a consistent mood and a sense of place. When you listen to the album from start to finish, these songs transport you. You can almost feel the warm sand and see the moonlight on the water. The big hits are the headlines, but these other tracks are the story. They're the reason the album works so well as a complete piece of work. They provide the depth and texture that has made Blue Hawaii an enduring favorite for over 60 years. To truly appreciate the album's greatness, you have to look past the famous songs and discover the quiet magic of the rest of the track list. Number 15, Was This a Country Album in Disguise? On the surface, Blue Hawaii is the opposite of a country album. It's set in the tropics, not in a dusty honky-tonk. It features ukuleles, not fiddles, but if you listen closely, you can hear the heart of Nashville beating just beneath the surface. The connection comes through the musicians and the musical sensibilities they brought to the project. As mentioned, the core band was made up of Nashville's A Team. These were the same musicians who were defining the Nashville sound of the early 1960s, a smoother, more pop-oriented style of country music. They brought that sensibility with them to Hollywood. The most obvious country element is the steel guitar. While it's used to evoke a Hawaiian feel, Alvino Rey's playing often has more in common with the pedal steel guitar of country music than with traditional Hawaiian slack key styles. His long, sustained notes and melodic slides are pure Nashville. Listen to his solos on Blue Hawaii or Ku You I Po. They are essentially country ballads dressed up in tropical clothes. The song structures also often follow a country pattern. Many of the songs tell a simple story with a clear verse-chorus structure. The melodies are strong and memorable, designed to be easily sung along to. This focus on clear, direct songwriting is a hallmark of classic country music. Elvis's vocal performance also has a country flavor. His ability to convey honest, direct emotion is a trait he shared with the great country singers like Hank Williams and George Jones. On the ballads, he sings with a heartfelt sincerity that cuts through the lush arrangements. He's not playing a character. He's telling you a story straight from the heart. This is the essence of great country singing. The themes of the album, while set in Hawaii, are universal country themes: love, heartbreak, and the beauty of a simple life. Hawaiian Wedding Song is not that different in spirit from a classic country wedding song. Almost Always True is a classic country cheatin' song, albeit with a playful twist. This country undercurrent gives the album a warmth and an emotional honesty that many other pop albums of the era lack. It grounds the exotic Hawaiian elements in something familiar and relatable. It's a fusion of sounds, a blend of Hollywood glamour, Hawaiian atmosphere, and Nashville heart. This unlikely combination is one of the secrets to the album's unique and enduring appeal. It's a pop masterpiece with a country soul. Number 14, how did it set a trap for Elvis's career? The phenomenal success of the Blue Hawaii album and movie was a double-edged sword. On one hand, it made Elvis Presley and his manager, Colonel Tom Parker, an enormous amount of money. It cemented his status as a top box office draw. On the other hand, it created a formula, and that formula would dominate and ultimately stifle his creative life for most of the 1960s. The formula was simple: put Elvis in an exotic location, surround him with beautiful women, have him sing a dozen or so songs, and wrap it all in a flimsy plot. The accompanying soundtrack album would then be released, and it was almost guaranteed to sell well. Blue Hawaii was the prototype, and because it was so wildly successful, the temptation to repeat it was irresistible. The problem was that the quality of the material began to decline almost immediately. The songs for Blue Hawaii were, for the most part, well written and carefully produced. The songs for later soundtracks like Harum Scarum or Paradise Hawaiian Style were often rushed, silly, and poorly recorded. And Elvis was a professional. He always gave his best effort, even with the weakest material, but you can hear his enthusiasm waning as the decade wore on. He was a great artist, being forced to paint by numbers. The Blue Hawaii model also isolated him from the cutting edge of popular music. While the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, and Bob Dylan were revolutionizing rock and roll, Elvis was stuck on a Hollywood soundstage singing songs like Do the Clam. He was no longer a leader. He was following a safe, profitable, but artistically bankrupt formula. It's important to understand that Blue Hawaii itself is not to blame. It is a high-quality product. The music is excellent. The film is enjoyable. The problem was not the album itself, but the lesson that Hollywood and Colonel Parker learned from its success. They learned that quality was not necessarily required for profit. They could create a cheaper, faster version of the Blue Hawaii experience and still make money. This decision had long-term consequences for Elvis's career and his legacy. It led to a period of creative stagnation that he would not fully break out of until his 1968 comeback special. So, while Blue Hawaii is a great album, it also represents a crucial turning point. It was the moment when the artist began to lose control to the demands of the commercial machine. It was the beautiful, successful, and ultimately tragic blueprint for the most frustrating chapter of his career. Number 13, could a saxophone solo make a song unforgettable? Boots Randolph was another Nashville A-Team legend. He was a master of the saxophone, and his playful Ayakity sax style would make him a star in his own right. In 1961, he was a top session player, and he was brought in to play on the Blue Hawaii sessions. His contribution to one song in particular, Rock a Hula Baby, is a moment of pure rock and roll genius. The song is already a high-energy mix of rock and Hawaiian music, but when Randolph's saxophone solo kicks in, it lifts the song to another level. The solo is wild, frantic, and slightly unhinged. It has a raw, bluesy energy that connects the song directly back to the great rock and roll records of the 1950s. It's a reminder of the rebellious spirit that was still inside Elvis, even as he was becoming a polished movie star. The sound of the sax itself is incredible. It's fat, loud, and full of personality. Randolph plays with a joyful abandon. He's not just playing notes, he's making the saxophone squeal, honk, and shout. It's the perfect musical expression of the song's chaotic energy. The solo is also perfectly constructed. It builds an intensity starting with a simple, catchy phrase and then spiraling into a series of wild, high-speed runs. It lasts for just a few bars, but it's the most memorable part of the song. It's a short, sharp blast of pure excitement. The inclusion of a sax solo of this quality on a soundtrack album was unusual. It showed that the producers were still committed to making real, exciting rock and roll, even within the confines of a Hollywood movie. It gave the song an edge, a sense of danger, that set it apart from typical movie music. Boots Randolph's contribution to Blue Hawaii may have been small in terms of playing time, but its impact was huge. His unforgettable solo on Rock a Hula Baby is a key ingredient in the album's success. It's a moment of pure, unadulterated fun that proves this soundtrack had a real rock and roll heart. Number 12, why was the title track a perfect mission statement? The song Blue Hawaii was not new. It was written in 1937 by Leo Robin and Ralph Ringer for a Bing Crosby film, Waikiki Wedding. It was a well-known standard, but Elvis Presley's version completely reinvented it. He transformed it from a sleepy big band number into a dreamy, intimate ballad. His recording is the album's opening track, and it functions as a perfect introduction to the world the listener is about to enter. The song begins with the gentle strum of a ukulele and the soft, swelling harmonies of the Jordanaires. It immediately establishes a mood of calm and relaxation. Then Elvis's voice enters. It's soft, warm, and incredibly close. The engineering on the vocal is superb. It sounds like he is singing directly into your ear. He sings the lyrics with a quiet, confident sincerity. He's not just singing words, he's painting a picture. Night in You and Blue Hawaii. The phrase hangs in the air, full of romantic possibility. The arrangement is a masterclass in subtlety. The steel guitar provides a gentle, weeping countermelody. The bass provides a soft, heartbeat-like pulse. There are no drums. The rhythm is carried by the gentle sway of the acoustic instruments. This choice to omit the drums is crucial. It gives the song a timeless, floating quality. It's a song that exists outside of time. As the opening track, Blue Hawaii serves as a mission statement for the entire album. It tells the listener exactly what to expect: beautiful melodies, lush harmonies, and an overall feeling of peaceful, romantic escapism. It promises a trip to paradise, and it delivers. It's the musical equivalent of a postcard from a perfect vacation. By choosing to open the album with such a quiet, gentle song, Elvis was also making a statement about his own artistic evolution. He was no longer just the king of rock and roll. He was a mature, sophisticated vocalist who could handle a classic standard with grace and style. The song Blue Hawaii is the perfect gateway to the album. It's a gentle, irresistible invitation to leave your troubles behind and spend a little time in a world of moonlit beaches and endless love. It sets the stage for everything that follows, and it does so with a quiet, confident perfection that is the hallmark of the entire record. Number 11. Was this album a bridge between two different Elvises? Elvis Presley's career can be roughly divided into three phases: the rebellious 1950s rocker, the 1960s movie star, and the 1970s Las Vegas superstar. The Blue Hawaii soundtrack sits at a unique and fascinating crossroads. It acts as a bridge, connecting the raw energy of his early work with the polished showmanship of his later years. You can hear echoes of the 1950s Elvis in songs like Rock a Hula Baby and Slice and Sand. These tracks have a driving beat and a sense of youthful rebellion. His vocal performance is full of the hiccups and growls that defined his early style. The presence of Scotty Moore and DJ Fontana, his original bandmates, provides a direct link to the Sun Studio days. These songs proved that he hadn't lost his rock and roll soul. But the album also clearly points the way towards the 1970s. The lush, grand arrangements of the ballads like Can't Help Falling in Love and Hawaiian Wedding Song are precursors to the epic orchestra-backed performances that would define his Vegas shows. His vocal on these tracks is controlled, powerful, and full of operatic drama. This is the sound of Elvis the showman, the entertainer who could hold thousands of people in the palm of his hand. The album's overall feel is a blend of these two sensibilities. It's both intimate and grand, both playful and serious. It has the raw energy of a rock record and the polished sophistication of a classic pop album. This unique combination is what makes it so interesting. It captures Elvis at a moment of transition. He was moving from being a youth culture icon to being an all-around family entertainer. Blue Hawaii was the vehicle for that transformation. The album allowed him to showcase all the different facets of his talent. He could be a rocker, a crooner, a balladeer, and a movie star, all on the same record. This versatility is a key to its enduring appeal. It offers something for every kind of Elvis fan. It is the sound of an artist at the peak of his powers, looking back at where he came from and forward to where he was going. It is the most complete picture we have of Elvis Presley, the artist, at the single most important turning point of his career. Number 10. Did the album's cover art create an unforgettable brand? The cover of the Blue Hawaii album is one of the most iconic images in music history. It features a close-up shot of Elvis smiling, wearing a red Hawaiian shirt and a lei. In the background is a beautiful shot of Diamond Head and Waikiki Beach. The colors are bright and vibrant. The overall impression is one of health, happiness, and tropical paradise. This image did more than just sell the record. It helped to create and solidify the Elvis in Hawaii brand, a brand that would become a huge part of his identity. The cover photo was taken on the set of the film. It's a carefully constructed image designed to present a specific version of Elvis to the public. This is not the sneering, dangerous Elvis of the 1950s. This is a friendly, approachable, and handsome leading man. He's the perfect tour guide for a trip to paradise. The choice of the red shirt is brilliant. It makes him pop off the cover. The lei adds an authentic touch of Hawaiian culture. His smile is genuine and infectious. It's an image that is impossible to dislike. The cover art perfectly reflects the music inside. It's bright, cheerful, and promises a good time. It's an invitation to escape. When people bought this album, they weren't just buying music, they were buying a piece of this fantasy. They were buying the dream of a perfect vacation with Elvis as their companion. The image was so powerful that it became a template. Many of his subsequent movie posters and album covers would feature similar imagery Elvis in an exotic location looking happy and relaxed. But the Blue Hawaii cover is the original and the best. It's the one that everyone remembers. The cover art also had a huge impact on Hawaiian tourism. It presented a romantic, idealized image of the islands that was incredibly appealing. It made Hawaii seem like the most glamorous and exciting place on earth. The film and the album were a massive advertisement for the 50th state, and they helped to fuel a tourism boom that continues to this day. The cover of Blue Hawaii is a perfect piece of marketing, but it's also a great piece of art. It captures a specific moment in time and a specific feeling with perfect clarity. It's an image that is inextricably linked with the music, and it's a key part of the album's enduring legacy. Number 9, was it a masterclass in track sequencing? You know, the way the songs are ordered on an album can have a huge impact on the listening experience. A well-sequenced album tells a story with a clear beginning, middle, and end. The track sequencing on Blue Hawaii is a work of art. It's a perfectly paced journey that takes the listener from a gentle welcome to a peaceful farewell. The album opens with the title track Blue Hawaii. As discussed, it's the perfect introduction, a gentle invitation to the island. It sets a mood of calm and romance. This is followed by a series of mid-tempo, charming songs like Almost Always True and Aloha O. These tracks build on the opening mood, adding layers of Hawaiian flavor and showcasing the beauty of the vocal harmonies. And then right at the end of side 1 of the original LP comes Can't Help Falling in Love. Placing this monumental ballad here is a brilliant move. It serves as the emotional centerpiece of the first half of the album. It's a moment of profound beauty and seriousness that gives the entire side a sense of weight and importance. Side 2 kicks off with a jolt of energy. Rock A Hula Baby is a blast of pure rock and roll fun. It completely changes the mood and wakes the listener up. It's followed by more upbeat numbers like Slice and Sand and Iduits. This section of the album is the beach party, full of fun, dancing, and youthful energy. After the party, the album begins to wind down. Ku Ui Po is a tender, beautiful ballad that brings the mood back to a more romantic place. This is followed by the Hawaiian wedding song, another moment of serious emotional commitment. The album closes with Hawaiian Sunset. It's a quiet, contemplative song, almost a hymn. The lyrics are about the beauty of nature and the feeling of peace that it can bring. It's the perfect ending, a musical equivalent of watching the sun go down over the ocean. This careful sequencing creates a perfect emotional arc. The album takes you on a journey. You arrive, you fall in love, you have a party, and then you say a peaceful goodbye. It's a complete, satisfying experience. This is not just a random collection of songs, it's a carefully constructed narrative, and the masterful track sequencing is a key reason why it works so well as a complete album. Number 8, how did it outshine its own movie? The film Blue Hawaii was a huge box office success. It's a fun, light-hearted musical comedy that is still enjoyable today. But it's fair to say that the soundtrack album has had a much longer and more impactful life. The music has transcended the film it was created for. While the movie is a charming relic of its time, the album is a timeless classic. There are several reasons for this. First, the quality of the music is exceptionally high. As we've discussed, the songs are well written, the performances are superb, and the production is top-notch. This is not typical movie music. This is a great studio album that just happens to have been featured in a film. Second, the album creates a more powerful and immersive world than the film does. The visuals of the movie are beautiful, but the music allows the listener to create their own, even more perfect version of paradise in their imagination. Music has a unique power to transport us, and the Blue Hawaii album is one of the most effective transportive devices ever created. Third, the album contains Can't Help Falling in Love. This song alone is a bigger cultural landmark than the entire film. It has been used in countless other movies and TV shows. It has been covered by hundreds of artists. It has become a standard, a song that everyone knows, even if they have never seen the movie Blue Hawaii. The album's legacy is also helped by its format. It's easy to listen to an album over and over again. It can become the soundtrack to your own life. A movie is a more self-contained experience. You watch it, and then it's over. The Blue Hawaii album became a part of people's lives in a way that the movie never could. This is not to denigrate the film, which is a perfectly fine piece of entertainment, but the soundtrack is something more. It's a work of art that stands on its own. It is the definitive document of the Blue Hawaii experience, a musical masterpiece that has long since outgrown its cinematic origins. Number 7, did it reveal a previously unseen sense of humor? Elvis Presley is often remembered as a serious, almost mythic figure, the rebellious rocker, the handsome movie star, the tragic king, but he also had a great sense of humor, a playful, self-deprecating side that often gets overlooked. The Blue Hawaii soundtrack is one of the best showcases for this lighter side of his personality. Several of the songs on the album are intentionally funny. Ituits is a goofy, calypso-flavored song about a man who is constantly eating. Elvis sings it with a big smile in his voice. He's clearly having fun with the silly lyrics and the bouncy rhythm. It's a moment of pure, uncomplicated joy. Slice and Sand is another fun, light-hearted rocker. The lyrics are about a dance craze, but the real joy is in the playful energy of the performance. Elvis throws in little vocal asides and chuckles. He sounds like a kid at a beach party, and his enthusiasm is infectious. Even on a more serious song like Almost Always True, there's a twinkle in his eye. The song is about a man reassuring his suspicious girlfriend of his fidelity. He sings it with a smooth, charming swagger that lets you know he's not to be taken too seriously. This sense of humor is a crucial part of the album's charm. It keeps the mood from becoming too syrupy or overly romantic. It adds a human touch. It reminds us that behind the myth, Elvis was a real person who liked to laugh and have a good time. This playful spirit is often missing from his more serious work. The gospel albums are full of deep faith. The 1970s ballads are full of heartbreak and melodrama. Blue Hawaii is a rare opportunity to hear him just cutting loose and having fun. This willingness to not take himself too seriously is a sign of his confidence as an artist. He was so secure in his talent that he wasn't afraid to be a little silly. This sense of humor is a key ingredient in the Blue Hawaii recipe, and it's another reason why the album is so endlessly listenable and lovable. Number 6, was it the perfect blend of authenticity and fantasy? The Blue Hawaii album is not an authentic document of traditional Hawaiian music. The arrangements are too polished. The instrumentation is too Hollywood. The vocal harmonies are pure Nashville gospel, and yet the album feels authentic. It captures the spirit, the aloha of Hawaii, even if it doesn't replicate the exact sound. This is a difficult balancing act to pull off. The album's creators managed to create a fantasy version of Hawaii that still felt respectful and true to the culture. Part of this comes from the use of real Hawaiian language. Songs like Aloha O, written by Hawaii's last reigning monarch, Queen Liliuokalani and Kuiuaipo, are treated with respect. Elvis's pronunciation is careful and sincere. This small detail goes a long way towards creating a sense of authenticity. The use of traditional instruments like the ukulele also helps. While the arrangements are not strictly traditional, the sound of the ukulele immediately roots the music in a specific place. It's the sonic signature of the islands, but the album's real genius is in how it blends these authentic elements with pure Hollywood fantasy. The lush strings, the complex vocal harmonies, the polished production, these are not authentic to Hawaiian music, but they are essential to creating the dreamy, romantic mood of the album. The album creates a hyper-real version of Hawaii. It's a version that is more beautiful, more romantic, and more perfect than the real thing. It's the Hawaii of our dreams. This blend of the real and the imaginary is what makes the album so powerful. It allows us to escape to a fantasy world, but it gives us just enough authentic detail to make that world feel real. It's a musical vacation to a place that doesn't quite exist, but that we all wish did. This perfect fusion of authenticity and fantasy is a remarkable artistic achievement, and it's a key reason why the album continues to captivate listeners decades after its release. Number 5, how did 3 days in a studio change pop music? The entire Blue Hawaii album was recorded in just 3 days, March 21st, 22, and 23, 1961. This is an almost unbelievable feat of efficiency and professionalism. In that short time, Elvis and his band recorded 14 master takes. Today, a single song can take weeks or even months to record. The ability to create an album of this quality in such a short time is a testament to the incredible talent of everyone involved. The sessions took place at Radio Recorders in Hollywood, one of the best studios in the world at the time. The atmosphere was professional but relaxed. Elvis was in charge. He would listen to a demo of a song, work out the arrangement with the band, and then they would start recording. They worked quickly, but they never sacrificed quality. The key to this efficiency was the live in the studio recording method. Elvis and the entire band, including the Jordanaires, recorded at the same time in the same room. There were no overdubs. The vocal you hear on the record is the vocal he sang with the band. This method gives the recordings a sense of energy and immediacy that is often missing from modern layered recordings. It feels like a real performance, because it was. This incredible productivity also highlights the genius of the session musicians. The Nashville team and the other players were so good that they could come up with perfect parts on the spot and execute them flawlessly, take after take. There was no time wasted. These 3 days in March 1961 were incredibly fruitful. They produced one of the best-selling and most beloved albums of all time. The efficiency of the Blue Hawaii sessions became a model for the rest of Elvis's soundtrack career. The speed at which these albums could be produced was a major reason why the formula was so profitable. While this speed would eventually lead to a decline in quality, on Blue Hawaii, it worked perfectly. The pressure of the ticking clock seems to have focused everyone's energy and creativity. The result is an album that sounds both spontaneous and perfectly polished. It's a snapshot of a group of brilliant musicians at the absolute peak of their powers, working together to create something magical in an incredibly short amount of time. Number 4, did it prove that easy listening could be great art? The Blue Hawaii soundtrack is often categorized as easy listening. This label is sometimes used as a term of derision to describe music that is bland, boring, or overly sentimental. But Blue Hawaii proves that easy listening can be a legitimate and powerful art form. The album is undeniably easy to listen to. The melodies are pleasant, the arrangements are smooth, the overall mood is relaxed and peaceful. There is nothing harsh, abrasive, or challenging about this music. But easy does not mean simple or thoughtless. The music on Blue Hawaii is incredibly sophisticated. The harmonic structures of the songs are complex. The vocal arrangements for the Jordanaires are intricate and beautiful. The musicianship is of the highest possible caliber. Creating music that sounds this effortless is actually incredibly difficult. It requires a deep understanding of melody, harmony, and rhythm. It requires taste, restraint, and a commitment to beauty. The album is a masterclass in the art of popular song arrangement. Every note is in the right place. Every instrument has a purpose. There is no clutter, no unnecessary noise. It's the musical equivalent of a perfectly designed piece of furniture. It's beautiful, functional, and built to last. Blue Hawaii also makes an emotional connection with the listener. The songs, while pleasant, are not emotionally empty. They speak of love, longing, and a deep appreciation for the beauty of the world. And Elvis's performance is full of genuine feeling. He invests himself in these songs, and that emotional honesty is what elevates the album from mere background music to something more profound. The album's incredible and sustained success shows that there is a deep human need for music that is beautiful, comforting, and uplifting. Blue Hawaii meets that need more perfectly than almost any other album ever made. It is a powerful reminder that music doesn't have to be loud or angry to be important. Sometimes, the most powerful art is the art that brings us peace. Number 3, was it the happiest record Elvis ever made? There is a palpable sense of joy that runs through the entire Blue Hawaii album. From the playful energy of Rock a Hula Baby to the romantic bliss of Hawaiian Wedding Song, the album is a celebration of the good things in life. And a large part of that joy comes directly from Elvis's performance. He sounds genuinely happy on this record. This was a good time in his life. He was 26 years old, handsome, famous, and wealthy. He was at the peak of his physical and vocal powers. The pressures that would weigh on him later in his life had not yet taken hold. He was, for a brief moment, on top of the world, and you can hear that confidence and happiness in his voice. His laughter on Slice and Sand is infectious. His tender delivery on Can't Help Falling in Love is the sound of a man completely comfortable with expressing his emotions. Even on the more traditional Hawaiian numbers, he sounds engaged and enthusiastic, respectful of the material, but also clearly enjoying himself. This contrasts sharply with some of his later work. On many of the mid to late 1960s soundtracks, he sounds bored and disconnected. On his 1970s albums, he often sounds sad and world-weary. But on Blue Hawaii, he sounds young, vibrant, and full of life. This sense of happiness is a huge part of the album's appeal. It's an optimistic record. It makes the listener feel good. It's a musical antidepressant. It's the perfect album to listen to on a sunny day or on a gloomy day when you need a lift. The album captures a fleeting moment of pure, uncomplicated happiness in Elvis's life and career. It's a snapshot of a young king in his sunny, peaceful kingdom before the storms arrived. This joyful spirit is perhaps the most enduring and endearing quality of the album, and it's a powerful reason to consider it one of his greatest achievements. Number 2, did it create a genre of its own? What kind of music is on the Blue Hawaii soundtrack? It's not really rock and roll. It's not really country. It's not traditional Hawaiian music. It's not standard pop. It's all of those things and none of them. The Blue Hawaii album is so unique that it almost seems to exist in its own genre, the exotica pop rock ballad. This unique fusion of styles is one of the album's greatest strengths. It's what makes it sound so fresh and original even today. The album's creators took elements from many different musical traditions and blended them together to create something new. They took the swagger of rock and roll, the sincerity of country, the lush harmonies of gospel, the sophisticated arrangements of classic pop, and the instrumental colors of Hawaiian music, and they mixed them all together in a Hollywood studio. The result is a sound that is instantly recognizable. The combination of steel guitar, ukulele, a Nashville rhythm section, a gospel quartet, and Elvis's one-of-a-kind voice is a unique sonic cocktail. No other album sounds quite like Blue Hawaii. Like, this willingness to experiment, to blend genres was quite forward-thinking for 1961. It prefigured the world music fusions that would become popular decades later. It showed that Elvis was more than just a rock and roll singer. He was a musical innovator capable of absorbing different styles and making them his own. This unique sound is another reason for the album's longevity, because it doesn't fit neatly into any one genre. It doesn't sound dated. It doesn't sound like 1961 rock or 1961 pop. It just sounds like Blue Hawaii. The album didn't just sell millions of copies. It created its own musical world, a unique and beautiful place that listeners have been happy to visit for over 60 years. The creation of a completely new and instantly recognizable sound is a rare achievement in music, and it's a powerful final argument for this album's secret greatness. Number one, why does it feel more relevant than his serious work? Elvis Presley's most critically acclaimed albums are usually the Sun Sessions from the 1950s and the From Elvis in Memphis album from 1969. These records are praised for their raw energy, their soulful depth, and their artistic seriousness. They are, without a doubt, masterpieces, but it's possible that in the 21st century, the Blue Hawaii soundtrack is actually his most relevant and important work. We live in a world that is often stressful, chaotic, and frightening. The simple, uncomplicated joy of Blue Hawaii feels less like a nostalgic escape and more like a necessary antidote. The album offers something that is in very short supply in modern life, a moment of pure, untroubled peace. The raw rebellion of 1950s rock and roll, while historically important, can feel like a distant echo. The deep soul searching of From Elvis in Memphis is powerful, but it's not always what we need. Sometimes we don't need to be challenged. We need to be comforted. And no album in Elvis's catalog offers more comfort, more beauty, or more gentle reassurance than Blue Hawaii. Its themes are timeless. The joy of falling in love, the beauty of the natural world, the fun of spending time with friends. These are things that will always be relevant to the human experience. The music itself has aged remarkably well. The clean production and the acoustic-based arrangements make it sound more modern than many of the more heavily produced rock records of its era. But the album's ultimate power lies in its emotional honesty. Despite the Hollywood gloss, there is something deeply real and sincere at the heart of Blue Hawaii. It's the sound of a young man at the peak of his talent, sharing his joy with the world. It's a simple, generous, and beautiful gift. In a complicated world, simplicity is a radical act. Blue Hawaii is a simple record. It wants nothing more than to make you happy. And in its quiet, gentle, and masterful way, it succeeds more completely than perhaps any other album Elvis Presley ever made. That is why, secretly, it might just be his best.